Hey everybody, I'm Moran with the Nuccio Auto Group. I wanted to take a minute to walk around this absolutely stunning 2013 Porsche 911 Carrera 4S Cabriolet. All right, let's check this thing out. It's absolutely stunning and it's really in spectacular condition. So I don't really have a whole lot to call out in the way of condition, but agate gray metallic. It is really a gorgeous color and so complemented by the agate gray interior and pebble gray contrast, pebble gray being the almost ivory color. Look across the front there, you can actually see where the paint protection film starts and ends across the front there. It's really in great condition. A lot of times if you don't really take care of that, what we call PPF, it's not gonna look fantastic. All from the lower rocker. Beautiful 20-inch optional Carrera Classic wheel there, painted center cap. The red caliper is indicative of the S model, this being a 4S. But check the reflection out. And that's always my best indicator of really how high quality a car is. 20-inch Carrera Classics again. I love the look of the rear. Look at that hip there. It's just such a cool look. And the way the light kind of hangs off the curves of this car. And then you let the world know, 911 Carrera 4S with a naturally aspirated 3.8 liter. Those are the Sport exhaust tailpipes. This is a spoiler that actually goes up and down, which we can actually select manually if we so chose. 20-inch Carrera Classic. Big old hips in the back. Again, 20-inch Carrera Classic up front. And look at the condition. Glass is excellent. I'll put the windstop up, show you that in a second. All right, let's look inside. Look at the extended leather here. This is the agate gray portion, contrast stitching. That pebble gray is almost an ivory shade. These are the adaptive sport seats with 18-way adjustment. These are so comfortable. Heated and ventilated. See the perforated leather. So the perforated leather is actually what allows the ventilation to come through. That's the optional sport design steering wheel. Again, look at the leather. Sport Chrono, a very in-demand option, of course. To get the agate gray PDK shifter. Console with all your buttons to customize your experience. Everything's in beautiful condition. You can tell this has been so well cared for throughout its entire existence. These comfort seats are fantastic. Look at all those adjustments there. All right, in the rear, you have two seats. Now, truth be told, they're not really made for large human beings. When you pull these down, these are the infamous, or I should say famous, Porsche parcel shelves. These are designed to hold 100 pounds a piece, and then you still have some more storage under there. So if you have soft bags or heck, anything you wanted to take on a trip, you have a wild amount of room to take stuff with you. All right, stepping inside. Very easy to get into a 911. This door sill is really large. You know, a lot of sports cars, it's a little more difficult. It is low to the ground, obviously, but it is not, it's not that difficult in comparison to other cars that would really be representative of the class that this car is in. Thick leather wrap steering wheel. This is a sport design steering wheel. You do have indicators in here for your drive modes, but shift paddles on the back here for the PDK. Dual clutch, shifts super fast. This is a power tilt and telescope steering wheel here. Got automatic control for the adaptive xenons up front. 3-position memory, power windows you got front, and these little, I call them blades. Those do come up as well. With the wind stop in place, it is like a cocoon in here. For a long trip, these are probably some of the more comfortable seats in any car. These are heated and ventilated as well. But there's something to be said about a light interior for a convertible. If you do drive a convertible in the summertime and you have the top down, you park it, you leave it under the sun, get in your black interior, it just burns you. The lighter interior is very, very nice. It's a little bit of a compromise. It doesn't retain as much heat. So in my opinion, the light interior does make life a little bit more convenient. So I've got the key on me, so all I really need to do is just hit the fob, my foot on the brake. Hear that 3.8 liter rumble in the light. Naturally aspirated. I can't stress that enough. That is one of the coolest things about these cars. That flat 6 sound is, it just doesn't sound like anything else. The 3.8 liter displacement gives us really ample torque, so it feels really fast around town. On the high end, it makes a beautiful sound. Doesn't sound like anything else. If you're going for an extended cruise on the highway and you want just optimal comfort, your wind stop pops up. Now you have the option once you're in this little cocoon here, it is serene on the highway. It's shocking. Putting up the convertible is very, very simple. Basically just a one-touch button, fully automatic. This is what happens. Like I said, this is a deployable spoiler. This does go up automatically at speed for aerodynamics, but if you wanted to manually raise it, you can drive around with the tail deployed all day long if you so like. It's 61 degrees in Chicago right now, and I really wasn't anticipating taking this for a ride for the video, but I kind of can't help myself. And it's a Friday afternoon, so let's go for a spin. All right, we got the top up. This is really in the standard drive mode right now. We're not in Sport, we're not in Sport Plus. I'm gonna turn my air conditioned seat on because it just feels good. Power tilt and telescope steering wheel. Let me get that exactly where I need to. And then if you really want to sit and play with the seat adjustments, I've actually got it kind of set to where I want it, but it's, these seats are fantastic. PDK transmission, this is the automatic option for the 911s. It's a dual clutch, so it's really a manual with two robotized clutches that make the smoothest possible shifts. The shifts are super fast. This is really considered the gold standard for dual clutch transmissions. I'm gonna pop in and drive, and we'll go for a nice ride. First impression when you drive a 911, you don't feel like it is a exotic or a supercar. It feels very conventional because it's very smooth. The car has very smooth bottom end power. It's somewhat cushy, and just listen to the structure of this thing for a convertible. It's nice and quiet, but also nice and smooth. Visibility is great. You got nice large mirrors. You can actually see the hips if you position them right. I'm going about 40 miles an hour. Pretty drama-free. We're gonna come up on a set of railroad tracks here, so just kind of keep the focus on the solidity. Here we go. No squeak, no rattle, and when you consider it's a convertible top, so semi-truck outside, it's lined and insulated. If you treat it like a coupe, it really isn't too much of a compromise. But in all honesty, that's about enough of that. Let's drop this top. 61 degrees deserves some fresh air. All right, the other part I want to show you, I'm going to put the little wings up here, and then also the wind stop. This is like my favorite way to travel when the weather's agreeable. Now we're ready. All right, I'm still in normal drive mode. Obviously with the top down, you can hear a little bit more of the exhaust. But let's go into Sport. Sport still keeps the suspension in the comfort setting, but amplifies kind of the throttle response and also the PDK. Listen how fast it shifts. $60 miles an hour, top down. It's so cool. So the intangible part I can't really demonstrate is the feeling of the torque in this engine. It's a 3.8 liter, so it is a larger displacement for this. The difference in size really equates to a difference in torque. The bottom end power, I'm in 6th gear right now, just rolling from 55, and that bottom end power just pulls you through. I think there's a 30 horsepower difference on paper between the base Carrera and the S, but yeah, 30 horsepower is there, but it's really the torque curve that you feel as the biggest change, so it does feel a little bit more significant than just 30 horsepower. We're gonna get on the highway, so I'm gonna go into Sport Plus, which actually, Sport Plus really keeps the car on full tilt at all time. Wow! Sorry, turbos, you'll never make a sound like that. Alright, let's see what we can do from 70 miles an hour. Wow! What a glorious drive. This is fantastic. Look how open the light interior looks. It's
just so much nicer than having a darker color, even a tan color. I love the ivory. Even though it's called pebble gray, I'll call it white. So comfortable. I've got the sport suspension on, and it does ride firm with that, but let's just tune it back. I'm going 80 miles an hour. How cool is that? Brakes are super tight, tires are quiet, feel great. It's really, if you drove this car brand new, it would not feel any different than it does right now. This is a hard car to find. I mean, we work really hard to find some unique stuff, and I think this car is a fantastic representation of the ideal car you could expect from us. We're buying stuff every day, so please be sure to check out our website, nuccioautos.com. But thanks for coming for the ride with me. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. So until next time, I will see you.